Hello. Hello. And happy Monday. How y'all doing? You fine freaks and people? Yes. Some wasp. Some wasp. Whether or not it shows up on the live, I don't know. But I'm listening to wasp, and I have to be louder than the radio because I don't want to stop the music. But I have to. Hello, welcome to Monday Night live streams, Jeff Word. 99th show, 99 times we've been here, 99 times. It's a long time. It's almost 100. So hello, Hans, Mark, Phil, and number one, and McCavity. It's so nice you guys say it twice. Jason, happy Monday. Kevin's here. Dave, Zachary, Ray, Tim's here. Tim's got the scoop on the Jeff Word. He's got the very first Beers in the Valley label out in the wild. Very jealous. Jason McDonald, Stephen Wayne Nelson Jr., Christopher Bowers, Expat Dreamer, Cabin in the Woods. Wasn't a summer camp. Okay. So we need a red balloon for every Jeff your shelf. 99 red balloons floating in the summer sky. Nuclear war, everybody. That's what I was raised to believe in. It was the church of the alarmists. And yes. McCavity, they, them. Yo, okay. I haven't had the opportunity to go back and watch last week. What did I miss? Oh, nothing. A whole lot of I just contributed to global warming. That's, if you're wondering why it's been so hot around the world, it's just all this I've been emitting into the atmosphere has been heating up the planet. Been pissed off at the chiz. I was just before this watching Philip Fracassi at the Poison Pen doing a YouTube live, Facebook live from the Poison Pen. He did a reading, then he did a Q&A. And the man said he's still got stuff coming from Earthling. He said that at the Poison Pen into a microphone that was transmitted worldwide. And he has more coming from Earthling. That was exciting. I don't think he shared that. I mean, I don't think we know anything about that, do we? And he says something with CD. Now, I don't believe I was in and out of consciousness. Sometimes I like to leave my body. And it's my business where I go. And he might have been talking about past projects. So maybe, but I think he said he's got exciting things coming. And he talked about Earthling, CD, Cemetery Dance. And then he very diplomatically said that the owner, Richard Chismar, has got a fabulous writing career. And I think he wants to focus on that. Oh, goodness. So he mentioned that, and then he mentioned as yet unnamed deluxe edition coming out. Very cool. So anyway, I'm wearing a Fracassi shirt. This is, it's not just Fracassi. It's Crystal Lake Publishing's. What's the anthology? Shakespeare Unleashed. There is a Philip Fracassi story in there based on King Lear. So it's horror based on Shakespeare. So the horror is based on Shakespeare stories, and Fracassi did King Lear, and Joe and Casey Lansdale in there. I think they did Macbeth. So I got the anthology, and the dude, opted for the package with the shirt. So I got the shirt. This is Three Witches Brew. You're not going to find this at Walmart. Walmart dresses me now. I'm a Walmart boy. So let's play Global Thermonuclear Annihilation. Is that a reference to the Matthew Broderick movie War Games? It is. First live I've caught. Savage Dogs highlights. I was going to reply to your comment. Fun fact, I try to reply to every single comment I get on YouTube. And it's kind of the luxury of being as unpopular as I am. So I can still do that. But I think if I had like hundreds and thousands of comments flooding in, I wouldn't be able to do that. But I love doing it because I think a lot, it's about the community, you know? So I'm glad you're here. Saucebot is here off work, so able to make a live show. Yeah. Yeah. You got to say it like World Wrestling Federation guy. One word for last week, Chismar. I got Chiz here too. I got some Chiz here. Can I share this with you real quick? This is my favorite Richard Chismar autograph. It's like a book plate, and it was autographed to me. So this is a refund check I got from Cemetery Dance Publications, made out to me to the tune of $230. And this is how he'll write refund, and then there's a Richard Chismar signature. So I got a refund check straight from the man himself. I've kept it in pristine condition. So it's like a book plate. I was going to glue it into my copy of Girl on a Porch, like a signed book plate, personalized to me. So there's some chiz for you. There's a little bit of chiz. No Gothic slipcase yet, but that one has been out in the wild, so they have been seen. They look awesome. All the wood gives a different tonality, so the wood on the slipcase is going to look different from slipcase to slipcase, which is really cool. I love that. I think Paul Michael Caine. They. Sometimes I call him Paul Michael Anderson. I'm like pumping the brakes. PMK. Paul Michael Caine did a kick-ass job on those slipcases. I can't wait to get it. Bro, what is in the magic duff bucket? We got to know. You do. This is, of course, the duff bucket. It is magic. It produces. Sometimes its spells are stronger than others. This is a very basic bro spell. It's a Guinness. It's a basic bro. And you know what? We're just going to drink it. We're not going to think it. And do that, you know? The Red Balloon is always that 1956 French fantasy film to me, the one about the boy who befriends a red balloon. That reminds me of Doofenshmirtz. Balloony. His best friend was Balloony. So it was a Guinness, Phil. It was a Guinness. Hello. Thank you. This is I love this shirt. I love it. You can't wash it, or if you do wash it, you can't dry it. And then there's really no way to showcase it without being slightly inappropriate. So I've been watching this thread on Library Thing where someone is complaining about the price for Centipede presses. We have always lived in the castle due to not having enough pictures, etc., for him to base his purchasing decision on. Don't you just love that? And I was a little disappointed that the art wasn't Matt Mahurin, who did a splendid job on Haunting of Hill House. But that's fine. I mean, it's fine. I think the art looks great. And it feels like you have to live in a castle to afford these books nowadays. Am I right? So we have always lived in the castle. Centipede Press. I love Library Thing for their /elitist /whiny takes on books. Like they're either this doesn't deserve such a letterpress treatment, and then it's like, why are the books so expensive? Oh man, pick an argument. But I guess when you have a plurality of folks, you're going to get arguments from every angle. But that's kind of fun. I mean, it's all discussion. But what's a number of illustrations that quantify a price point? Is it you pay by the pound? Are we going to do that? Is it like Or, a word count? Are we going to go by that for a value of a book? That seems silly. I can't huzzah producer Joe until you sell. Oh, okay. Well, there's the Guinness. My question: are others bothered by Centipede Press's practices in this manner? I don't know. Well, 2 and 4 color. Okay, wait. So how many pieces of art? What was the problem? 6 original color interiors. And then, okay. And then there's black and white spot illustrations. So what's the problem? 6 is pretty much standard. So they don't like that it's a $600 book with only 6 illustrations. I mean, Suntop usually does 8 or so, but they've done 6. I don't know. I think if you have no illustrations, then you just phoned it in. If you're charging that price. See, now I had to catch myself because there are some Earthling books that don't have illustrations. That's fine. I mean, it's all about the price point. But yeah, I don't get it because I personally found the argument rather silly. Well, don't go there. I mean, that's like don't humor library thing too much. Some of those guys there like to argue for argument's sake. They're the type of people who like to argue to make themselves sound smart or like the expert in the room. Fine, but they sometimes just throw wild punches. It's just stupid. Are you going to make that check a giveaway? No, I can't. I cannot. It is signed, so it's autographed on the back by me. So it's a thing, it's a thing. And actually, when I was going to glue it in as a book plate, I didn't care about my signature on the back. Was not my concern. Sean Ford, good to see you here, Sean. Lovely day for a Guinness. It is always a lovely day for a Guinness. Jason, no, Jared always prices fair. I feel. Then again, I'm familiar enough with Centipede to know what to expect. It wasn't always like that. So that if that person's on the fence, then maybe they never had a Centipede Press book because I've yet to be disappointed by a Centipede Press book. Both the production and the content. I do have one Centipede Press book. I looked at it recently, and Jason, you'll be giddy to discover it's one of the Blackburns. That the binding looks a little, I don't know what happened to it. So I have to give that another look. But by and large, I've never been disappointed. So this person on the fence, you should not be on the fence about a $600, $500 purchase. The unsigned ones were $500. So you should not, I mean, that's like, you're either certain you want it or you don't. Because that's way too much for indecision. Centipede Press still has better and more art than Sub Press. Yes. None versus some. Yes. I really think Jared does try to give you the best value he can. I got Tokyo Doll today and was impressed that he got some Mort Kunstler art. Nice touch. Tokyo Doll. That looked cool. That looked really cool. That retro sort of detective vibe to that book. Beautiful book. Yeah. Jared's reputation is impeccable. And I think it's beyond reproach what he does for his customers. Wouldn't you think a prospective buyer would be able to do research online for other comparable books from the publisher? There's a ton of videos, pics of CP books out there. Hey, how about this? He checks out my video, what to expect when you're collecting Centipede Press. And there you go. You don't have to ride the fence anymore. I don't know. Little Guinness will help me figure it out. The guy was arguing he couldn't see enough of the book. Okay. So he couldn't see all the 6 illustrations. And what does that matter? He sees the art in the sample, right? So you get an idea of the style of the art. So that you can kind of figure, like, it's not going to be like mixed media next. It's not going to be photographs. So you get a sense of it. And if you don't click with that style, then you're not going to like it. But if you like that style, you're going to get more of it. What do you like confused about? Now I understand there are some pieces in some books where I like 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6 of the pieces are awesome. I love them. The one just doesn't, it just doesn't hit the same. Hits different. And so you're like, I don't like that one. But overall, so that's silly. That person's just, that person's silly. It was not about the number of illustrations. Okay. Jason, the guy's clearly being lazy and trying to talk himself out of buying the book. Yes. Or he was never in the market for the book and he wants to sound like he's a player. Although I don't know who wants street cred from book collectors. Like we're not, we're a quirky bunch, a bunch of introverts. So you're not really earning too much. Tokyo Doll is amazing. Huzzah Hans, says producer Jill. Yeah, I took it as he doesn't really want to spend it and is trying to give himself reasons. But why do you have to broadcast it? Keep it to yourself. I am envious of you all that have Tokyo Doll already. Well, you'll get it. So you can just have a little have the little Haunting of Hill House, and we'll wait for the little We Have Always Lived in the Castle. Those dollars are earmarked for Club Dumbass. That's how I say Dumas. Happy birthday to Josh Mallerman. I meant to wish him a happy birthday. We're Facebook friends. I forgot. I think lots of folks are in that boat. I want both this version as well as the little version. Same, waiting for the little castle. We have always lived in White Castle. I mean, that's how it was when we lived in Chicago. You'd always, it's funny is if you go to White Castle, you end up in the throne room a lot for extended periods of time. Regret comes standard with White Castle's steamed burgers. Their onion rings were awesome. We don't have White Castles here. We have alternate parallel universe White Castles called Crystals. It's basically steamed meat with mustard. It's different. It's parallel universe. Things are similar, but they're not the same. We're right down the street from a Waffle House. I know that narrows down my location to only about 2,000 miles of the country. My Tokyo Doll is somewhere in Atlanta. Well, I hope someone's being kind to it. Finished Stella Maris about an hour ago. Damn it. You guys, man, I just finished this book for the second time. And the only thing better than reading it the first time was reading it the second time. This is really an amazing book. You can, yes, on the second reading, you can appreciate it even more. There's a whole character in here I did not remember, Michael. And it's understandable. He's only on like a few pages. Creepy detail that I totally didn't even remember. Very creepy. And then there's a whole standoff that I didn't remember. Clearly loved it the second time around. Loved it. Just an epic book. If you've not read it, if you don't have it, go get it. Go read it. I mean, you guys all know that, but geez, great book, man. Gene Wolfe short story collection from Subpress should ship soon. Yeah, can't wait for anything Gene Wolfe, even if Subpress is not my favorite at the moment. Now, do you think Subpress will get it back together and start to... I mean, maybe they don't have to. Maybe they're selling, they're selling all these works and they don't have to worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're selling. Someone please tell me if I need to get Club Dumbass or not. Oh, yeah. Which do you like better, Passenger or Stella? Apples and oranges, like them both for what they were. Stella Maris made me feel so ignorant of philosophy and mathematics. Wow. I don't need a book to make me feel that way. We have always lived in the White Castle should have been the name of one of the Harold and Kuma sequel. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. There are a lot of people that get married in White Castle. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. Jeff, hell yeah, man. I get to wrap up my listen after the show tonight. Oh man. You still need to go to a Bucky's, Jill. I know, McCavity's telling me to do it. Well, they said we are going to the biggest one in the country, right? We're going to make it's like I don't know how far away it is, but we're going to go to one. I just ordered a copy of that book. Can't wait. I hope you enjoy it. It's pretty awesome. You could go watch The Ninth Gate, and if you don't enjoy that, you could probably skip the novel. Christopher, the Subpress Limited of Club Dumas. So we'll be able to skip the Centipede. And it's a good read, 7 or 8 of 10, but I'll definitely help if you have at least some interest in Dumas. I don't think so. Subpress is becoming the Sam Adams of small press. All right, Nathan Clark, good to see you. So, really? I don't know how Sam Adams is in the world of beers. So, okay, I think I got you. Sam Adams was like a small brew. Everybody loved it. It was kind of like that tasty treat, and then it went big and nobody cared. Is that maybe I'm not getting it, but Subpress, yeah, I think they're kind of in a halfway point. Are they trying to be small press? Are they trying to be more mid-size? I don't know what they're going for. William Schaefer is the only one who knows what he's going for. They just happen to pick authors I just don't know or want, or I'm not that I don't want to know, but they're picking authors I've never read in genres I don't care to discover, really. It feels like new wave. I don't know about new wave, but it feels like new fantasy. Like there's a new thread of fantasy that's very childish. Yeah, I don't know. Am I wrong? I don't know. It just, when I read the synopsis of these books that they're doing, it just feels like it feels like kids playing dress up and make believe. That's I could be totally off base, but like that Last Dragoner of Bowzabar, butchering the title, I think. But when I read the synopsis, it just felt like kids playing dress up. Like everything feels safe and sanitized and like make believe, but not in the deep dimensional world building make believe. The make believe that doesn't make you believe is what I'm getting at. Pizza Giraffe's here. Hi, Pizza. Hi, Giraffe. Is Boys in the Valley Fracasse's best? That's a very hard question for me to answer. Upon the second reading of Boys in the Valley, it's up there, man. It is way up there. Gothic is more of a thrill ride. Chow Alone with Strangers is a thriller / horror / crime. And then you got wow. I'm totally blanking. What am I blanking on? My brain just went. I mean, you have a short fiction, which is all excellent. But Gothic, Boys in the Valley, Chow Alone with Strangers. Don't Let Them Get You Down. Heavy duty. That's my absolute favorite Fracassi, but it is not typical or entry level Fracassi. It's like if Fracassi was a brewer and he would cook up different beers, you'd have some like IPAs, some stouts, and then you'd have that like fine barrel aged scotch or whatever. I know I'm mixing beer and liquor, but my point is like that's a whole different, it's still alcohol, but man, that's just class, just boom. Don't let them get you down. So that's my personal favorite Fracassi. But I think if you read Boys in the Valley and you don't like it, you're not going to like Fracassi. I just can't imagine. I mean, I've seen very few negative reviews of it, but I don't know. Boys in the Valley and Child Alone with Strangers and Gothic. I mean, I've also read a few unpublished books. I've read a couple of sci-fi thrillers. And he just announced a book deal. He showed his signature on the contract of a book deal. I congratulated him on it. I can't wait if it's the book I think it's going to be. If it's the book I think it's going to be, I've read it, and it is like, and I think I mentioned this last week, it is everything Dark Matter. It's like an improved Dark Matter. If you've read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, it goes a distance, but man, this is like, it fills in those little pieces that Blake Crouch left out because he's just a different author. You know, he had his different sensibilities. This is like, man, this is high def. And I only compare it to Dark Matter because that's the only other work that I've read that's comparable. It's like, I called Blake Crouch this century's H.G. Wells because he takes technology in its infancy and projects into the future. What will man do with this? If man had this technology, if humankind could harness this technology, what would humans do with it? And the consequences of that. Well, with H.G. Wells and with Blake Crouch, the technology is the main character. The time machine, the invisibility, the DNA mingling, like that is sort of the deceit, and that's center stage. Well, with Fracassi's time travel, there's more heart, more character development. And if it's that book, wow, that could be my favorite Fracassi. That could be it. There was some real, it's sci-fi thriller, but there were some real genuine freak out moments in that book that had me scared. So that's a monster waiting to come out of the closet for everybody. And that could be, but when I'm thinking about my favorite Fracassis right now that you can get your hands on, it is seriously a toss up. There are different reasons I like Child Alone with Strangers, Boys in the Valley, and Gothic for different reasons. And then there is all that short stuff. Beneath the Pale Skies, there's no bad story in that. So what have I missed? What did I miss? Almost at episode 100. Yes, I am. Thanks everyone about Club Dumbass. I'm the president and the client of Club Dumbass. Not only am I the president, I'm a client as well. Cy Sperling. I have to explain that for the Mitches out there. A Child Alone with Strangers is better than Boys in the Valley. Both are fantastic. That's Hans's take. The White Castle here put candles and hearts on the tables for Valentine's Day. That's maybe what they do. But I think they also people get married there. I don't know. Human hearts, cow hearts? What kind of hearts? It sounds grim AF. Saying that to Flash, what did Flash say? What am I missing? Some of these don't get published in time. I don't know. Okay, I'm scrolling around. I'm bopping around. I'm just talking to fill the space. Actually, it's not. Solid 5 stars, the best book I read in 2021, but I personally feel they're all great. Yeah. Burger King is called Hungry Jack's in Australia. Nice. Man, I like a burger. I'm getting hungry now. I think Subpress has found that their ticket to making lots of money is doing the first limited edition of modern fantasy and sci-fi titles and wildly overcharging the fan base of those titles. Yeah, they're losing everybody. I'm looking forward to your Mr. Purple Halloween costume this year. Mr. Purple. Oh man, that would just be. I'm not important enough to get canceled, but they'd make an exception if I did a Mr. Purple. Anyone in Austin seeing Fracassi on Wednesday? Oh, at Book People. Yes, go see him wherever you're at. Definitely come to Nashville. Oh man, that's going to be a good time. Good time. Barrel aged barley wine. Yum. I'll be watching online from Michigan. I just finished Boys in the Valley before this started. Wow, I am blown away by that book. Oh, that's awesome, Patty. You know, on my reading, here's a little hack for anybody out there. It's not a Fracassi approved hack. In fact, he might be mad at me. But you could stop at the second to last chapter. You could not read that last chapter. The way the way chapter 61 ends, it would be a great ending. You could stop there. You don't have to go to that next chapter. Now, Patty, you just read it, so you can go back. It's still fresh in your mind and read the last couple of sentences on chapter 61 and and see what that would have been like, the chills. I think that could have, but he had to do chapter 62 and he had to get us, didn't he? He had to go for it. So I don't mind it at all, but barrel aged, yeah, okay, I said that. I'm repeating myself. It's not you, Nathan, it's me. The new Fracassi contract had a hashtag of time travel. Does that help narrow it down, Jeff? Yeah, I'm almost positive it's the book. But the funny thing is, the two books I've read by him that are not yet in a home with a publisher both have elements of time travel in different methods, but it does narrow it. I mean, I think I know exactly what it is, but I can't say here. And it's his story to tell. It's his business. Oh, but man, I'll be so jazzed for that book. Sounds like it if you're comparing it to Dark Matter by Crouch. Yeah. Yeah. No, I definitely. Jeff, the book you're describing, I felt was a mix of Grimwood and Tevis with a smidgen of Campbell. Really? That's cool. I'm a big H.G. Wells fan, but I think Blake Crouch is a better storyteller. Interesting, Tim. Huh. Well, he is more of a page turner. Like H.G. Wells is more ponderous, right? H.G. Wells feels like he's trying to be 30,000 feet, or he is. He's not trying to be, he just is. He's more like big picture and more philosophical about what's happening. And Blake Crouch is more action based. You have this device. The man is using the device. And his stuff is very archetypal. Like, oh man, especially in the Pines trilogy, he goes back to a day when women were the prizes to win. And I'm like, I don't know. I think there's a lot in, fiction where they're getting away from that. And he's still squarely in that world. But yes, the man is this rugged, capable man in a Blake Crouch world. Rugged and capable. Like, a man has to be capable. And in fact, the Fracassi novel I read does a gender flip. And it's interesting in that regard. I hadn't considered it because I'm not somebody who looks at what a character is and cares if it's like X, Y, or Z, if this person's part of this category, has to be a well-written character. You know? So, like, I don't know. I feel like I'm wandering, but the main character in the book I read anyway was a rugged woman, like sort of takes some of that. I don't know. It's a very cool, refreshing, original character in that book, and I think a lot of people will love it. Stroud, but not Campbell. Okay. Boys in the Valley is next up for me. Well, I hope you enjoy it, Christopher. Have you read any other? Have you read any other Fracassi, Christopher? I thought you did. I too just finished Dark Matter. I really enjoyed it. It's great. It's a great read. I really liked it. Between us here, does it deserve a Suntop treatment? Like, it just feels different. I'd say yeah. Yeah, sure. It's just, I think when I think books that get elevated, like, you need more nuanced. You need more. The character is important, and I don't think Blake Crouch pays too much mind to character development. And I think that's what makes a book worthy of a fine press treatment in that regard. However, if Suntop did the Pines trilogy, I'd be a giddy little boy. Though I do still want SST to do the Blake Crouch sets, and I want SST to do Fracassi. I think Don't Let Them Get You Down would be, and this book that has just been penned a deal on would be a great Suntop editions. What were your thoughts on the Suntop selection of Life of Pi? I talked about it on I did a Facebook Live on the Fans of Suntop page, and I talked about why I think it was selected. It was a miss for me because I never read the book. Maybe, and that just could be my blind spot. Maybe it's a tremendous book that I need to read, but it felt. Now, for example, if you've never read Richard Bach Illusions, it's sort of a new agey philosophical book. I absolutely adore that book, and if Suntop did an edition of that book, I would love it. I would definitely want it. I bought the 40th anniversary edition of Illusions by Richard Bach on eBay for $9. It's not held in high regard. It is one of those new agey books, very philosophical. Not my normal cup of tea, and that's how I've categorized Life of Pi. I will say, I think Paul Suntop kicked ass on the designs and the look of Life of Pi. And I mean, it sold out the same day within hours of the public sale. So it's a big win for Paul Suntop. I was surprised. I thought it was going to go for I thought it would be hanging around for a long time in his warehouse. So congrats to him on selling out. And I'm off the train. This is my third book that I've missed out on. And like I said, Psycho was really hard for me to pass. The next month is going to be exciting, I think, for a lot of people. I want Royale with Chiz. Please. I was surprised to see Suntop do Life of Pi. It was a pass for me, but it seems to have sold really well. I mean, I thought there were a lot of people who were like, hell no, I don't want it. And then it sold out. So there was enough demand. I think there were like 50 books available for the public. And it went like that, relatively speaking. Life of Pi was the last stop on the Suntop numbered train for me. Oh, yeah. Well, the very last, or are you going to go back on at some point? Is it just because of that title, I have Manos, or what? But yeah, Life of Pi seemed to have quite a bit of varying opinions from what I could tell. Made me leaning towards positive. Well, it obviously did, because the chatter beforehand was either I absolutely love this book or indifference, total indifference. Like, whatever. I really don't care. And then it sold out. So, like, what was that about? I'm going to try something real quick. I don't think that helped. All right. So the proof, the proof is there that it's sold. So you're passing on a Winterset Hollow. Is that what you think it is, Stephen Winehouse Jr.? Not sure it would have sold as well if they kept the AE and numbered at the higher print runs. That's a good point. But here's the thing. He had the author sign the classic edition, right? So it was a classic edition of 500. If people were like, yeah, that book, fine, but not at that price point. I don't want the numbered. I'll just get, in some ways, you make the classic edition compete with the numbered. You know what I mean? So if you have the classic edition signed, that's what happened with If You See Her. A lot of people are like, that is not a numbered edition level purchase. I'm sticking with the classic edition for this one. I got an Anya Allborn signature, and I got really cool art and a beautiful sun-top treatment. That's all I need for this release. And so I think you saw a lot of stagnation on that sale. So the interesting thing is, yeah, I don't know what it would have been if he had been at 350, you'd still have copies left for that numbered. But I don't know if you'd still have copies left if he went to 750 on that artist edition. I think the numbered still would have sold out. But that doesn't matter. I mean, Yep, I've read A Child Alone with Strangers and some short works. Very nice. Okay, good. So I hope you really love Boys in the Valley. I loved it. I see how it would have ended with chapter 61. I felt more satisfied with 62, though. Yeah, it does. It puts a bow on it. But I think part of me was, reading it the second time, Boys in the Valley, when I got to that part, I'm like, I think I could just stop here. I think I could just maybe not do that extra leg of the journey. Yes, I'd want Illusions as well. Isn't it a great book? It's a great book. I love it. The Changeling by Victor Laval is going to be an Apple TV show soon. Really, I got to read The Changeling. It's been on my list forever. Somebody I used to work with recommended it to me. And, oh, man, I got to read that. I'm hoping to possibly get Winterset Hollow, but I'm off the train and only try for ones I really want. I'm too broke for a full-time train ticket ride anymore. Yeah. Suntop Train, not interested in fantasy. Yeah. It's interesting where different people's interpretations of genres are. I can't think of any Suntop release that I would classify as fantasy. Maybe I'm forgetting something. The only one I could consider would be Imagica would be fantasy. Yeah, I think that would be it. I'm looking in my feed there. Imagica would be the only one. It's dark fantasy, but not high fantasy, not sorcerers and swords and half horse, half man type beasts. I watched the movie Widow's Point on your recommendation. I'm speechless. I did not recommend it to you. No, I did not. I would never recommend. Maybe I did. Yeah, I said like hate watch or watch out of, like Riff Tracks or Mystery Science Theater 3000. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Watch it because it's so awful. It's good. Watch, like, yes, like I said, Widow. I remember now. Widow's Point and The Lighthouse will feature. You'll be scarred the rest of your life. I would watch the A24, The Lighthouse, before Widow's Point, because you're going to need something to just like that doesn't make you think after The Lighthouse. Because that's the last thing you see. You're just going to be sitting there staring at a wall. So get Steven Dorff on your screen, Craig Sheffer, whatever. Yeah. No, was it Steven Dorff or I don't know. I'm not saying his name right. Boys was almost a perfect book. You know why it was almost. Oh, I don't know why it was in your consideration why it was almost. Yeah, I got to know why, Tim. I've yet to read a Magica yet, but I confess I did not think of that before making my comment. It's Clive Barker. I loved a Magica. When he went to the Great and Secret show in Everville, he started to lose me a little bit because it started to get like too fantastical. But I loved Cabal. I loved Weave World. Those are fantasy like. Those are dark fantasy. Sacrament is sort of like fantasy. What's up with my hair, man? My mustache. I can talk to myself. We're open enough here. I can talk about my hair. We're all friends. So, yeah, I think Clive Barker could be considered fantasy. I got to reread Magica after. Now it's a Suntop edition. I'm going to read the artist edition. And it's going to be a workout, but I'm going to do it. Light fantasy, Willy Wonka / replay. Feel good stuff. Just my taste. Interesting. I didn't read Replay, so I don't have a frame of reference. I love Suntop because I'm barely interested in any of their titles. Makes the wallet better. Yeah. So that's, that is something that you can look at. I got to say, we jumped off the Suntop train just for reasons. And every single month, I've had a huge expense. It's like, so it was a little bit of survival because I would be dead right now. But, oh my God. It's a lot of it's automobile. It was Craig Sheffer, right? Repay could loosely be called fantasy. Okay. I like the end of Unforgiven better than the end of Gran Torino. Okay. So that's how you're going to explain it. I love both those movies. Oh man, Unforgiven. Tim, Unforgiven. You better bury my friend, give him a proper burial, or I'm going to come back and murder every last one of you sons of bitches. Oh, Billy Money. Am I going to shut this off and go watch Unforgiven right now? Producer Jill, on my birthday, I got to watch Unforgiven and Roadhouse. That's all I'm asking for. Oh, she doesn't like that. I've not read Replay. I thought it sounded sci-fi based in the promotional info. It does strike that way. It deals with multiple lives, but zero science. And Magica is what led me to finding Suntop. It's a book that is special to me. It's a great book. And I've only read it twice. And the last time I read it, I had more brain cells. So I got to read it again to put it. I think those brain cells, I don't know where I stored them. So I can't recall it, Replay is one of my favorite books and has been for decades. You should give it a shot. Mitch is here and driving back home from a hang sesh. So just listening. Don't bother me. Look out, Mitch. Oh, see? He's driving back and I'm telling you, look out. There's a deer. Mitch is an adult in the car with you. Yeah, because somebody else is driving. Mitch, if you're uncomfortable in your baby seat, you can have your guardian pull over, flag down a cop, and they do a free inspection of the seat. Or just go to the nearest police station. It didn't sound like my cup of tea, but you are recommending it that strongly. I will have to keep it in mind. You're old enough to drive, Mitch? See, nobody believes you, Mitch. You need to throw in Last Man Standing into that movie marathon. Bruce Willis directed by Walter Hill. Masculinity overload in a good way. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll have to see it. Replay is also one of my favorite books ever. Sort of like the first 15 lives of Henry August without the spy mystery. Just finished Replay today. One of my favorite books now too. Yeah, I've overlooked it. I've got to read it. It's right there. That annoyed even me. Yeah, that was really bad. So I got to read it. It was one of Paul Suntup's favorites. All you guys are saying it's great. The only people who don't like it are the ones who've never read it. Just bear with me for 1 second. I don't like the light, Jill. It's too bright. I will complain. Oh, my production team, man. Okay. I did not realize you were such a fan. I'll have to add it to the list. Replay is great. Now Flash is saying it. Last Man Standing is a remake of Yojimbo and For a Fistful of Dollars. Both an adaptation of Dashiell Hammell's novel Red Harvest. So now I can start Dune. That is my private shame. And I think if I read Dune, I die. So I think that's like why I haven't read it yet. So producer Jill really wants me to read it. Jason, yeah, I'm a huge Ken Grimwood fan. I have every book he ever wrote. He does. He sure does. That's a fine thing. Ken Grimwood, man. Replay was so much better than I expected. That book deserved a big thank you to Paul. I'd never read it if it wasn't for Suntup. Damn. My blasphemous take. I prefer Last Man Standing to Fistful of Dollars, even though I'm a diehard Clint fan. Damn. Okay, then Lord Fowl's Bane. I'll read Lord Fowl's Bane before I read Dune. How about that? Because I said so. I read Dune, I die. Because it's going to happen. This is why I've never read Dune, Jill. I'll read Lord Fowl's Bane. But speaking, okay, hold on. Even 2 + 2 by Alan Cochrane, his pseudonym, that continues to escape me. Huh. So Centipede Press's website was super wonky. I'm glad I didn't want any of those books though, right? You couldn't, I clicked on the links and it was like nothing. It was down. So I don't know if it was just crashing because of everybody wanted the White Castles or, I'm going to have to go out and get something to eat, Jill. I'm starving. Jeff, let's be honest. No more lies. Just admit you're never going to read either or either. I'm going to read one or the other. I'm reading a book right now. And then I'm going to read another book after that. Yes. Check out the Scratch and Dent page. There's tons of stuff there. They're on Centipede Press's website. They have like slipcases. And they have like a bunch of clearance prices on brand new Centipede Press unsigned editions. But like Bats Out of Hell and Let's Go Play at the Adams. Sick prices, man. Sick prices. So I encourage anybody. You want to, that guy that's on the library thing sitting on the fence doesn't know if if they want a Centipede Press book, doesn't have enough reference. How about, you know what? We'll fly Jared out to wherever the guy lives, and he could give a PowerPoint presentation. Crime a ninny. That wasn't a rant, so sorry. So yes, that there's a lot of cool stuff there, and you can get great books for super cheap. I think there's a much stronger chance that you enjoy Dune than Lord Fowl's Bane. Really, I could be wrong, but I do not expect you to like Lord Fowl's Bane based on what I know of your taste. I think you might be right. Fistful was the third best of the three Man with No Name films. Damn. Oh yeah, I found a few copies. If you're looking, I might have a line on another one. For what? Oh, the 2x2, 2+2. Always looking for that one. Always seems to be a post or condition issue when one does pop up. Nothing can top Tuco running around Sad Hill Cemetery, dancing to the Ecstasy of Gold by Ennio Morricone on The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, the greatest spaghetti western ever made. How do I prioritize my TBR? I'm sorry, I wasn't laughing at you. I'm just like, I don't prioritize. Some of it is like if there's an event lined up. If I'm reading an arc, I want to get that read, like Midas. I wanted to get that read before it was published, before it was announced for sale from Earthling. And is it sold out yet? I recommended it, so I'll take it personal if it's not sold out. Midas. I'm clicking. I'm looking. You can buy it still. I'm taking that personal. I'm taking that shit personally. I recommended it, and it's still there. But so that's a lot of my TBR is like I wanted to read Boys in the Valley again before Philip kicked off his tour. I wanted to read it before the book was released again, so I could review it, pump it. You know, I've already read it, but you know, I'm going to Nashville to see him. I'm going to help lead a Q&A, and I want to have good cues so I could get the best A's. And so I want to be able to have a little bit more of a in-depth discussion about Boys in the Valley. So I wanted it fresh. So that's what dictated that read. You know, I want, oh man, I got a secret book club read coming up. Secret book club. This is deep secret stuff. So yeah, I think those sorts of things hijack whimsical whatever I'm in the mood for. But if I didn't have those to direct me, I would probably go more in line with what I'm in the mood for. You know, like I want to reconnect with Clive Barker and go fantasy, you know, or I want to discover some brand new thing and I'll read Dune. You know, like actually Dune would be more of an obligatory read. No, only it's like more of a like it's not one I normally would pick off the shelf. You know, it's like for the channel. And I'm thinking I'm going to love it. And that's what I like. I like being pushed into reading books I wouldn't normally select. That's Paul Suntop got me to do that, you know, with a lot of what he's published. And I think you feel the same way about Replay, but because I never would have picked that book up. The Auctioneer, I didn't read it yet, but so yes, the Centipede Press does Dune, and I buy it, and it's like, yeah, man. Anyway. One of my favorites was High Plains Drifter. And a lot of them are ex-library, so it's tough to find a clean copy. Oh. Yep, El Topo is the best Western ever made. Yep, I've always assumed the sexual subject matter prompted the publisher to go conservative on the number published. And the only thing that would seem to explain its scarcity. Tuco's life was such a roller coaster ride. I like to think he was able to enjoy his gold for a little while, but there were more adventures ahead. Mark, I think I said hi to you, Mark. Good to see you here again. If I didn't, Salute. And when you factor in Grimwood's fans, it's a tough one to snag. Oh, man. Almost snagged one of those off eBay. I'm 2/3 through Dune, and it is worth reading. Not sure how far I will go into this series. Well, even the diehard Dune fans say you could stop at the first one. Suntup has introduced me to authors and genres and books I would never have bought or even considered. Like Johnny Got His Gun. I'm very interested in reading that. That's another one I just thought of. Butcher Boy. That's a spectacular book. I wish it had more love. I really do. Reading Neuromancer for the first time since high school, I forgot how difficult it can be to follow sometimes. Still love it, but I could have been written more straightforward. I don't think so. Jason, you're a Centipede dude. You should go read Blind Sight by Peter Watts. Buckle up. That's harder to follow than Neuromancer. Hello, new body. Good to see you. I consider El Topo overrated. Damn. It's getting saucy. Excuse me. I never would have discovered Cormac McCarthy if not for Suntup. Now he's among my top favorite authors. Wow. Damn. I would think, Christopher, that you would be a natural fit for Cormac. Because, Tennessee and all. That is a standard beer. Standard stout, Mitch. Look what I'm drinking, Mitch. I'm sorry. I know someone's driving you home. But, I could pour it and lie and say it's Jeff Word Stout or something. But I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar. I got to get my Mr. Purple costume from the dry cleaners. Might read Butcher Boy this week. Have 2 weeks off from work, so could knock it out quick. I got to say, man, that could be a hit or miss for you. But, man, that book was I loved it. Thanks for Butcher Boy, Jeff. I loved it, and you're the only reason I read that one. Well, I'm glad you loved it, Tim. I really like it when it works out that way. It is a bummer if somebody reads a book that you recommend they don't like, but it's not personal. I mean, it's just like, I loved it and they didn't. But you felt responsible for whatever time they spent. It's like, yeah. So, too many to list. I have inscribed to me Into the Deep and a signed replay, both first. Wow, that's awesome. Ken Grimwood. Was there going to be any interviews for The Life of Pi? There were. I was going to interview the artist, but it just didn't work out. I sent him an email. I said, hey, I need to get you interviewed before the 17th so we could be ready for this live. After the 17th, my week is kind of crazy, so I really need to get you interviewed so I can edit and upload by the 19th or by the 20th. And as soon as I hit send, I got an auto reply from the artist saying, I'm out of town till the 17th. I'll reply on the 18th. I'm like, oh, man. So it just wasn't destined to be. And I thought his art was amazing. I had no frame of reference to talk about the book, so I couldn't say, why'd you choose this scene instead of this scene or whatever. So it's kind of a lucky thing because I don't want to insult anybody by not doing the homework beforehand. Blindsight is actually on my list yet for this year. Gibson uses a ton of jargon, and I'm not techie at all. Yeah, I know, and I was lost as well, but Blindsight is so much smarter than Neuromancer. So much smarter. It's an amazing read. I didn't know anything about Cormac. Was amazed he went to the same school. Wow, that's crazy, Christopher. That's really cool. Honestly, I never would have discovered Suntup without Jeff. Really, Phil? Oh, well, I'm glad. I'm glad you connected. I have a letter from him as well where he talked briefly about his working on a replay sequel. Oh, that would have. Oh, he passed away. Jeff's review of Sun Top Misery was my first Jeff experience in discovering. Well, I hope you've gotten therapy for that video. I have ordered so many books I would have never known about because of this channel. Well, I'm glad, and I hope you've enjoyed at least the majority of them, because I learn about books all the time by the people who show up here. So I'm that's why I'm glad, and that's why I will continue to have this, to have people come here and share the titles and share the spaghetti westerns, and you guys are just a whole world of knowledge here. Um, yeah, it's at the university where all his works were sent after his death. Damn. I'm a big fan of Once Upon a Time in the West. Henry Ford was brilliant. Nice. That's crazy when I think about it. It's almost 4 years purchasing Suntop books and being at this channel. Yeah, it's been a wild ride, and I was glad I was there for the very beginning of Suntop, and I'm still there. You know, I'm just still a fan. Of course, I think I wouldn't have pumped the books and talked about them if I didn't believe in them. The man wears both a belt and suspenders. How can you trust a man who can't even trust his own pants? It is awesome. The tragedy of his passing away at a relatively young age aside, it's really unfortunate the sequel was never finished. Yes. Um, uh, would be great if you would be able to get interviews from binders and letterpress printers. I'd like to hear their take on the high end books they work on. You know, that's a good point, and I think you might have brought it up before. And yes, I think there's a lot of people out there that do these works that would love to talk about it. The closest I've come to that was when I talked to Art Werner, about his aquatint and mezzotint process. But yeah, I think that, talking to the folks who do these fine bindings would be really interesting, especially um if they could send videos showing a lot of those behind the scenes. Or I get in an RV, a magic RV, and I drive all over the world, and I get to go into their little studios. Henry Ford, he made CRs. He didn't act. Oh, he made cars. Henry Ford. Wasn't he a Nazi sympathizer too? Henry Ford. I'm a big fan of Philip K. Dick, but it was never that big on Man in the High Castle. I guess alternate history is not just what I look for when reading Philip K. Dick. A great spaghetti western that a lot of people do not know about is The Great Silence by Tom Milan and Klaus Kinski. White westerns with so much snow, and Milan plays a mute. A lot of people wish I would play a mute. Um, August 2018, My Misery Artist was delivered. Then I became broke every month. Oh my goodness. I'm an enabler, and wow. Everybody's going into bankruptcy. Where'd you get the great shirt? I talked about it. It was the Kickstarter. I think, you know what? You can get it. I don't have the Kickstarter up anymore. Oh, I do. I could drop a link in the description, but every time I say I'm going to do that, I always forget to drop a link in the description. So let me drop a link in the chat. Here you go. That's the Kickstarter. And I think you could buy one. I think you could buy the shirt separate of any sort of package deal. But the book it's in support of Shakespeare Unleashed, which is an anthology that has a Lansdale and a Fracassi story in it, and as well as other really great authors. Just I'm not familiar with those authors, so I'm not going to get all wound up about them if I never read them. Is all I'm saying. I keep playing with this jalapeno. I plucked this jalapeno out of our little garden because it was done. I thought it was done, and now I just keep twirling it. Look at that little jalapeno. Look at it. It's a little jalapeno. I'm going to eat it tomorrow. Can't wait for the numbered Godfather. Love Art's work. Yes, I'm going to be getting that hopefully soon. I don't know how far away that is from publication, but I'm going to get a numbered lettered Godfather. Oh man, that would be amazing. It's a great time to be a buyer right now. You can go to the Fans of Suntop page and get a ton of discount Suntop books. Godfather won't be one of them, I don't think. But I was surprised Life of Pi sold out because there were people selling them for cheaper than list before it was even listed. So Mute Jeff would be a boring live stream. It'd be me scratching my nose and playing with my hair and twirling a jalapeno. And they'd all mean something. It would all mean something. It would mean something. I got the AE Misery for free when it came out. Why? Because you tried to buy the numbered and they messed up? Is that why, Mark? How'd you get it for free? I'm not going to read that. Speaking of J.R. Lansdale, if somebody wanted to start reading Lansdale, which are the best books of his to start with? A fan favorite is The Bottoms. My favorite is The Thicket. His favorite is Paradise Sky. Those are all exceptional books to read to start with. Paradise Sky is kind of long. So if you're not going to dig Joe Lansdale, then you might want to go with something shorter. The Bottoms is deep. It's not as, you don't have any humor in that one. Like he'll have humor in his works. The Bottoms has no humor. That is wow, that book is, it's serious stuff. But a lot of his stuff has humor in it. Cold in July is good. It's sort of a precursor to Happen Leonard. And the first Joe Lansdale I ever read was The Drive-In, and that's just bonkers. I've never read anything else by Joe Lansdale that's similar to, well, maybe Bubba Hotep or, Bubba and the Cosmic Bloodsuckers is similar to The Drive-In. But I would start with The Thicket is what I would start with, or The Bottoms. But understand if you start with The Bottoms, you're gonna get a little more levity in the books. So that's why I would say The Thicket. I don't know who else would want to weigh in, but that's what I would do. I just joined that fan page. That's where I'm racking up. LOL makes me late to the party, heart happy. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of deals there. No, it's a long story short version. I was told I won one, and then they rescinded. I had the email that said I won, so eventually they gave me one. Ooh. Well, I'm glad you had the receipts. Lansdale's pretty easy reading. Savage Season and The Thicket are good starting points. Savage Season I haven't read yet, but that's the first Happen Leonard. So that's on my ponderous TBR. And so when I look at my TBR, I usually populate it. This is getting back to that earlier question with books I definitely want to read, but they're all going to be sort of somewhat different. So like I'll have Daphne, I'll have a Paul Tremblay book, and then I'll have like a Joe Lansdale book. And then Daphne is Josh Mallerman, Lansdale, Pinborough, Anya Allborn, Stephen Graham Jones, Grady Hendrix. They'll all be on there. Some be authors I've never read, so I don't know if I want a mystery read. Maybe I want something familiar. Maybe I want a tried and true Lansdale. I heard mixed things about Daphne. I love Mallerman, But I heard mixed things. Do I want something that's more experimental? So anyway, I got to read Savage Season. I love the bottoms, but it's not a typical Lansdale. Right. It isn't. It takes on some serious headspace. With Lansdale, I've only read his Jonah Hex comic stuff. I did see there were comic miniseries for Drive-In 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah. No, I did. I read Jonah Hex before I even knew who Lansdale was. I have them, 6 of them, 6 limited series. Mitch is home. He has to type one word at a time because he's tired. Daphne is I. Love the bottoms. Thanks to It's Terrific for recommending it. Yeah, that's a great heavy duty read. Lansdale did a dark Western graphic novel with an artist, Sam Glanzman, called Red Range, and I love that one. My first Lansdale was Paradise Sky and loved it. You can't not love it. I mean, I suppose you can. I don't see how, but Paradise Sky's just a great read. Oh, I needed a Guinness. Sometimes it's good to go retro, old school. What else did I write down to talk about? Oh my God. There's another delay from Cemetery Dance on the stand. This book, I bought it back in 2018. I paid for the stand in 2018. And they've delayed it, and they said, we are definitely coming out with this book in autumn. In autumn 2023. Like, I've never seen them so definitive. Like, it's been in the works forever. And oh my God, this book has been in the works forever. Like, and the reason I'm stressing that is because when it's a Stephen King project, Cemetery Dance used to really just like front load that one. That one, that one's going to get done. Now the Doubleday Years has been getting slower and slower. And then we saw what they did with Night Shift and how that one just like had its legs chopped off. And now, they're taking money for Pet Cemetery. So you think, well, there's a cash infusion that's going to get the stand out of jail. So that one's going to drop. And we're going to see that one float out there. And then for them to delay it again, now it's winter 2023. And the funny thing about winter, it so easily becomes the next year. Once you're already in December, because winter, the technical date is December 21st, is the first day of winter. I mean, it's not going to be winter 2020. That book is probably going to be January, February, because you know what happens right around December 21st? Everybody goes bonkers during the holidays. It snows a lot. The world slows down, at least in the States. And people just are not putting their nose to the grindstone. And it's just not. So when I went to the product page, I go to the production updates page infrequently, when I want abuse. And I read that and I'm like, oh my God, they pushed it. Now they were like, we totally expect this to be an autumn release. They're blaming their slipcase maker. Their case makers. Because it's everybody else. Their case maker. You've had 5 goddamn years since I paid for it. You've had these in the works since, I don't know, 2016 or 2014. I don't remember when they launched the Doubleday Years set, and they took money for all of them, all 6 books. People could buy the bundle price, which were cheap at the time, considering inflation and what the prices are doing now. They got them at a steal. And they got, this is book number 5. They're crawling on bloody knees to the finish line, and then they keep moving the finish line. I couldn't believe it when I saw that. I'm like, there are just very few books that get me out of the cemetery dance business. And The Stand is the big one. It is the one I'd like, just land that whale. Just get that. Oh, if we could just bring that one in, I could just like then go about my life. And yes, then I'm waiting for Turn Down the Lights and some other piddling books. But you know what? I wouldn't worry about it. The big ones were Southern Reach Trilogy, Usher's Passing, Midnight Under the Big Top, and The Stand. Those were the ones. And this is the last one. I feel like I'm trying to get out of Haddonfield before Michael Myers kills me. Oh, who makes their slipcases? Oh man, I'm not gonna say that. I'd rather it take an extra 6 months and be of higher quality. Not that there's any guarantee that the quality would go up. The funny thing about that statement, Jason, is that you waited extra long for Night Shift and the quality went down because there were paper shortages. And then you get this paper quality. If you read Salem's Lot, if you read The Shining, those books are chonkers because the paper is like ridiculously thick. I could make the case that they went too heavy on the paper for those books. But when Night Shift comes out, it's like, oh, come on, guys. Are you Gauntlet now? Are you Borderlands? This isn't the paper I paid for. But you know what? When I paid for it, that was the paper I could buy. But because it was so long in coming, that was the only paper they could afford with the dollars they had. Probably. I don't know. The Chiz isn't on the phone with me explaining any of his chicanery. We could call it Chizcanery. Everybody knows case makers take years. Yeah. And they had 5 since I paid. They had 5. And it's so funny. It's like, what's the cartoon? Is it Charlie Brown where the rain cloud is only over Charlie Brown? It's like, oh, all of publishing is getting the books out, but here's the Chiz Brown, sitting there with the rain cloud over him. The only one who has printer troubles and slipcase troubles. You know what? I'm going to look really quick and tell you exactly what it says. Product update, production updates. Okay, let's see. The Stand. Let's scroll down to The Stand. We are finalizing the last pieces of design. Due to the recent closure of our preferred slipcase manufacturer for the Doubleday series, it may experience some small delays. We are anticipating to receive and ship this winter. And that was posted July 13th. That was the update. So they're anticipating to receive and ship this winter. Again, winter doesn't start with the first snowfall. It starts on December 21st. So you're going to receive on December 21st and ship them all before January 1st? Methinks not. That gives you a week, doofus. Do you need a calendar? Dumbass. Pet Cemetery was my first pre-order with them. I take it I don't need to get my hopes up with their timeline. No, Savage Dogs highlights. I would recommend you just put that baby in neutral. You know, just turn the engine off. Don't put it in park, turn the engine off. Go into the bar, have a few beers. You're going to be here a while. Pet Cemetery is going to be a while. But that's okay. As long as your expectations are set thusly, you can say, you know, and I got to say, if that's the only pre-order you have with them, good. You know, don't rack up the debt. Don't rack up them holding more of your money. Because if they fold, you lose the bet. So don't Don't get in any deeper, it would be my advice. But in Pet Cemetery is one of my absolute favorite books. It was easy. It was easy to pass on them. That's how scary it is. Pet Cemetery from any other publisher except for Borderlands or Gauntlet, I would be gaga over. I'm mad that I missed it with PS. So you're just going to have a wait. Circle 2028 on your calendar for delivery. Yeah. I mean, I can't, that's not even, it's like Jason's making a joke, but it's not crazy. If you told me back in 2018, it would be 2023 and I still don't have the stand, I'd have thought you were crazy. So 5 years from now, it's not crazy. Oh man, that means they won't match the rest of the series. No, that wasn't nice. Uh-oh. What? Yeah, that wasn't nice. Next, they will blame everything on UPS if they go on strike. Oh, that's good. They're probably waiting on that in August. Yeah. I mean, I think Richard Chismar, when he opens up his file cabinet, he's like, what excuse we're going to use? There are a few excuses left. So signature sheets were lost was a great one. The book isn't even written yet. It's another doozy. And then the printer they had to do Sleeping Beauties went belly up in the middle of them doing it. It might be true. I'm not saying that, but now their slipcase maker goes belly up in the middle of it. It's a little too cozy. Oh, good night, Patty. I would bail once I start to rant too. Park it in the garage and wait until it's a classic. Yeah. Yeah. I'm betting 2026 for Pet Cemetery. Now that's not a bad bet. I would take that money. I would agree with that bet. From everything I hear about them on here, I'm relieved I never bought anything from Cemetery Dance. So I would say you just wait until it's published and buy it off of somebody. And right now it's a buyer's market, so nobody's paying premium prices anymore. I'm an optimist. Good night, Patty. Yeah, I meant here. Of course. Yeah, that's fine. Still waiting for 3 books from the Collector Club 3 in January 2017. Yeah, you're going to be waiting. So that's the CD thing I had to talk about. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. We talked about Suntup, very successful release for Life of Pi. Surprisingly so. I thought it would be a little less quick. Oh, there's a new Mark's here. Hey, Elliot or Rob, time for this one to go home. Jeff, I've been hiding in the corner listening quietly, waiting. I didn't talk about Bloodlines. It's been in the description. I have a link in the description. Check out Rob Walton's Bloodlines. It's in the description. It's awesome stuff. And it was on my list. It was totally on my list. See, where is it? Where is it? Bloodlines. I wrote it down. Yes, right there. So go check it out. It's in the description. You're lurking in the shadows. I was going to get to all of it. That's why I write it down, because then I don't remember. And I didn't write it down last week, but I put it in the description. So I wrote it down this week, and it's still in the description. Seriously, there's a lot of stuff I put in the description on all of these videos. And go check it out, because sometimes I might not mention it, but there are things in there that Kickstarters and Rob Walton's Bloodlines. It's great stuff, man. Like a total 80s. You got to read the synopsis on that and you will love it. It's a paperback at the very least on Amazon. Go get it. Very cool stuff. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not going to go too deep in it, but you're going to dig it. Go read the synopsis there. He'll say it more eloquently than I can, but I don't even remember what they owe me from the collectors clubs. Yeah, I didn't even write that down. I have like a few books because I was in it for like 2 or 3 years. In fact, check this out. This is funny. Where is it? It is right here. The most useless thing you'll ever lay your eyes on. It's for collectors. It's a card they made for Collectors Club 10. It doesn't do anything. It had no code on it. What does it say? Can you read that? It's backwards on my screen. I can't read it because I'm blind. I'm going to read it though. I'm going to read it to you. It says, this card has only been issued to official members of the 10th annual Cemetery Dance Collectors Club. It's only been, seriously, guys, I would love to give this to you, but then I'd be violating the rights of the club. This is only to the club members. It didn't get you anything. It's funny. Yes, Rob, go. Oh man, I'm so sorry I didn't get to. I'll talk about it in depth more later on. Check your account. It's depressing. I have over $2,000 of books, hopefully coming before I die. My God, $2,000. I can't imagine having that much money sitting with them. I can't imagine. Hey, Jeff, wasn't that worth the $99? The funny thing is, one year they were so desperate for a cash infusion that if you signed up for the Collectors Club at $99 for the year, they would deposit $10 every month into your Cemetery Dance account, credit account that you could use for purchases of Cemetery Dance books. So if you do the math, you paid $99, but you got $120 worth of credit with them. The rub of it was you never got to use it on books because they never do books. I think I have about $1,500 suckered in for a lettered interview of the vampire last December. Damn. The first rule of CD Collectors Club is that nobody actually expects to receive books from the Collectors Club. The first rule is don't complain about it. Just send us your money. I think Richard Chismar should be a televangelist. I think that was his calling. You send him money for nothing. I mean, even then, what do they promise you? Life in heaven after you're dead? Okay. Who's fact checking that guy? Meanwhile, they're buying private jets and laughing at all the demons they don't have to fly with. True story. Go check it out. One pastor bought, he's like angry. He's like gonna bash the female reporter in the face because she's asking him questions about his private jet. And he said he had to buy a private jet because he couldn't fly commercial with the demons. You know, the unwashed masses. So Richard Chismar should open up the first church of what the Chiz. Jesus Christ. I don't know. It'd be like Jesus Chizus. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll work on that. I did get a good deal when you could buy their gift certificates for half price. Yeah, they had a lot of really great incentives. But then Brian James Freeman left, and then all the ideas went away. I had that, Jeff, and it really worked out well for me. Yeah. You pay for the CD confirmation email. It's an exclusive club. Yeah. Oh. Nothing. Buy his next book, and you get presents up the wazoo. Kenneth Copeland. Yes, Mitch. Yes. That guy's an animal. He's a sick guy. He is really, I think Jesus Christ works. Yep. Yeah, it's as blasphemous as I'm going to get on this show. Because seriously, I think Jesus will be mad that I'm comparing Chismar to anything remotely biblical. Oh, man. Yeah, but he should be an televangelist. I have to join CD's Buyers Anonymous. No, you don't. You don't have to. It's okay. You can like what you like. You're just not going to get it, you know? Facing the crowd for 4 grand. Speaking of Brian James Freeman, did you guys talk about Dog Stars last week? Anyone read it? No, I didn't read it. Some people did, and it was really good. I love the Dog Stars. First time I ever wrote a thank you email to a publisher. Wow. Yeah. Now that's out, and it's a Joseph Heller book. Not yet, but Philip Fracassi highly recommends his work to me. That's cool. Yeah, no, I never read it. I didn't really talk about it because I didn't know if we could talk about it because it was like a Patreon only thing, but it looks beautiful. I love that slipcase design. You know, Brian James Freeman should maybe tell Chismar about his slipcase makers. His slipcase makers seem to make the books for Levidian. The description sounds awesome. It does. Man, it's not blasphemous when you're making fun of blasphemers. Bingo. That's the loophole I'm working. Former altar boy here. I got to work the loopholes. True story. Chiz the Whiz makes your money disappear. Yeah. It's an optimistic feel-good novel about the apocalypse. The other end of the spectrum from the road. You know, the funny thing is, when I was a young man, before I was a man, I was a young adult. Before I was an adult, I was a teenager. And I read The Stand, and I was hoping for the apocalypse. I thought that would be the feel-good story of the year. Take everybody away. Then we had kids. Can't wait to read it. Okay, well, what else did I have on my little list? Talked about bloodlines. Seriously, go look at the bloodlines in the description. At least just go look at the description on Amazon. Go check it out. Oh, Twisted Retreat is a new subscription box that does rebinds of books. They did a rebind last month of Sallow Ben that looked awesome, but a lot of people were meh on the book. But the rebind looked really, really, really cool. So I dig what Twisted Retreat is doing with these books. So I subscribed to their newsletter, and their August release just came out. It's a book I've never heard of. It sounded hella interesting, but buying freeze and all, I'm waiting. So, but I've subscribed to their list, and I think it might be something for those of you who aren't doing buying freezes and might want a very cool looking rebind of a book at a very affordable price. Go check it out. Twisted Retreat. The link may or may not be in the description. Can't wait to read it. What are they charging? What book was it? What book was the new one? Do you want to know? Where is it? I thought I had it up. Oh, okay. If you don't want to know, the August book of the month from Twisted Retreat, I'll tell you. Cover yours if you don't want to know. It's The Woodkin by Alexander James. Sounds really cool. It's like Lost in the Woods thing. Has anyone here read Sallow Ben? No, I didn't read it yet. I have it. They're charging like 30. Wait, what are they charging for this one? I don't know. So shop past boxes and items. For Sallow Bend, a complete rebind. So it's very cool. It was very cool. So anyway, that's just my little plug for that. I think you guys might get a kick out of it. So for their subscription, I don't know. The book only is $28. But the monthly box is $52. So I don't know what it comes with. So here's a description. For our full box, each month is different, but generally speaking, we follow a formula in our frightening full boxes. A new release horror book, a creepy candle, a disturbing drink or spooky snack, an alarming artsy item such as bookmark pin or art print, a chilling consumable product, bath and body products, aromatherapy, and 3 nightmarish novelty items such as but not limited to kitchenware, home goods, decor, fabric items. Our frighteningly full boxes have a full retail value exceeding $100. So that's for 52 bucks. So I will put the link right in this. I'll put it right here. So you go check it out. There you go. Twisted Retreat. Um Sallow Ben keeps losing its place in the TBR. That's funny. Mitch got the little golden book edition. Dinner bells ringing. Night, everyone. Okay, Ron, take it easy. I'm going to be wrapping it up too. Good night, everyone. Thanks, Kevin, for being here later. Good night, number one. Are you still subscribed to Nocturnal Readers? No, that went. That's done. That went bye bye. So there's no more Nocturnal Readers. I loved it, but it's gone. So good night. Everyone. I'm gonna wrap it up too before I get stabbed. Shakespeare Unleashed is coming. I got to put these links in the description. Shakespeare Unleashed is going to be out this Friday from Crystal Lake Publishing. Go check it out. Fracassi, the Beers in the Valley sticker. Tim got it. I didn't get it, but Tim got it. It's terrific. Got it. Beers in the Valley. Some of us didn't get a sticker. I don't know. It's all. I'm just giving Mitch a hard time. But anyway, go check out everything that I tell you to check out. And then I'm going to go because I'm done. It's coming up on, a while now, hour 45 minutes. It's like, well, Tim Terrific bought a book from me, Jeff. Tim Terrific. I like how his name is Tim Terrific now. Good night. All right. Well, take it easy, everyone. I will see you around for the 100th show extravaganza. We're going to get Rockettes in here. Maybe a sparkler. And then go to Nashville or go wherever you see Philip Fracassi. And if you see him streaming an interview online on Facebook or somewhere like he did with the Poison Pen today, check it out, write a question, interact. It all means a lot. It's great stuff. So good night and have sweet dreams. And, if you got a mobile for Mitch, wind it up because he's overdue.